All right, welcome to podcast 61. If you looked at the last episode, we had a great interview with Bernard LeBlanc. It was so good that we really had to cut his interview in half. So now we're going to go ahead and play the second half of that, and we'll be back with you after that.
And one more thing I want to stress too is and I see that a lot, where they have the mindset of let's hit every ball to weaker player. Um, and I think that's a little backwards, because if you play a guy like me, and you play and you have that move around the court a lot, and I love to poach, and I love these ideas. What I think should be done instead is, guys poach on the third shot, on the fifth shot, seventh shot, the ninth shot, right? On mostly on odd shots.
Right.
So if you get the better player to hit the third shot, okay, he can poach until the fifth shot. You see, if you make him hit the fifth shot,
You're
bang,
not letting it wrong.
he cannot poach until the seventh shot. You see, so you have things. So you very rarely ever see a guy poaching on the fourth shot. He can't, or on the sixth shot. He can't. So they gotta poach on the third shot, on the fifth shot, or the seventh shot. So to delay their poaching, return the ball to the better player. Better players are not gonna make stupid decisions. Most they can do, they can hit a drop. Most they can hit a drop. All right. It might be a difficult job, yes, but guess what? Guess what he cannot do? He cannot poach and attack you on the fifth shot, because he just hit the third shot. You see what I mean? So you have to be able. You have to. He can't. So what I'm saying is, don't be scared to hit the ball to the better players. So a lot of players, you miss a lot of balls sometimes because you change the shot. You change the better shot to hit a much more difficult shot to the not so good player. Why don't you hit if you have a good shot, why don't you hit that very good shot to the better player? Put him on defense, so then he can attack you, because a good player is not going to attack you if you give him a difficult ball. We get to a point where we start respecting every shot, because once you're a good player, you start respecting every shot, because I have no idea what your intentions are. So you might give me a shot that might look easy, but it's because you know where I'm going to hit the ball already, and you can pick it out, right? So if you have a good shot, why don't you take that good shot and hit that good shot on the better player instead? Now you have your weaker player open now. All right. So now every time the better player has the ball, there's one thing he cannot do is attack you. Obviously, if you hit any ball up, obviously anybody gonna attack you. But if you can hit a good shot at the better player into the feet, or where it drops before them, they can't do anything to you. They're not gonna attack you. So don't be so scared to hit the ball to better players. The more you try to go away from the more you try to go away from the better player, is the more chances he have to attack you, because it takes one ball. All right. If you every time you go to better player, I'm waiting for you to make one mistake and it's over. If I get the ball, it's over. Why don't you make me hit the ball? And then that means you're gonna survive to the other shot, two more shots, right? So you have time to get set back in play and organize your defense. But if you try to avoid the better player, you end up giving the better player more balls.
Opportunities.
Yeah, more opportunity to attack. Because we don't. I'm not gonna poach. I'm not gonna poach unless I'm gonna attack you. You see what I'm saying? So the only way I can poach is if you get the ball away from me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to take a short break, so stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pickleball Crew. We are a group of pickleball fanatics based in Southeast Louisiana and are passionate about all things pickleball everywhere. Our focus is to inform, acknowledge those who help build the game regionally, and promote tournaments in our area. We do our best to present this with a love of the sport, a sense of humor, and a lot of fun. So join Vicki Wynn, Ken Wynn, Jeff Fuchsia, and me, Bud Klein, in our latest episode. We are glad you are along for the ride.
Well, we all know Bernard has recently had a very joyous thing happen to him. He was drafted into the NPL which is the National Pickleball League. He's a pro player, which we're all excited and so proud of you. We actually got to watch you on TV too, which was another big deal. Look, he's on TV. But this is a different format. There's 12 teams throughout the United States, and you were drafted to the Indy Drivers. And we thought that you would spend just a few minutes telling us about the league, how it's going, and how you guys prepare for your matches. Do you travel for your matches? Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, yes. So there are some genius behind that. A couple people, Beth Bartholomew, Rick Vincent, and some other guys got together and decide, oh, let's have a league for seniors, people above 50, because I mean, even if we still compete at the at the adult at the real pro stuff, um, we still compete there, but they wanted to have something especially for adults, give people a chance to compete. So they decided to do that. So last year they had only six teams. So they've doubled this year to 12 teams, and I think the following year they might end up having maybe like, I don't know, like 18 teams. I think they is growing real fast. I mean, it's very popular. Very popular. Every game is stream live. They have a center court, obviously. I think you all saw me on center court recently. But how I get drafted, again, everything happened to me in pickleball is by accident. I went to play in a tournament a pro tournament in Boca Raton. My first match was against one of the guys, the owners of the owners or part owner of one of the Boca Raton picklers. So I played him singles. Man, I wore him up so bad. So he he stopped me and he called me. He's like, man, where you live? I say, I tell him I live. I'm probably Houston, Mississippi, Louisiana. And he said, "Oh, I thought you were in this area. I would get you to play with us." And then he said me, "Well, there's a league going on, an NFL league going on for pros and stuff like that." So he told me that, "Oh, why didn't you go try out?" So I was like, "What is that?" So he sent me information about the thing, and I was like, look at it, and I say, "Okay, it's a combine. What's the combine?" I have no idea what's a combine. So I decided, it's Dallas. I'm gonna try it. So just for the fun of it, because I was gonna be in Dallas for the whole week. So I said, let me try it. So I went to I went there and I played. So it was actually pretty good. I was surprised how well organized it was, and how talented. There were so many good players. It was outrageously. It was good. I mean, like high competition, and everybody trying to secure a spot. There's about 200 and there was like 280 something players there, and the only two people on the whole thing gonna get a short bid. But I think I did lost my last match, so I ended up placing third overall out of 288. I think I came third overall. So so now it's a waiting game. So no one knows who's get drafted. So then I went to US Open, in that in I think it was in December, when US Open in Florida, and then they had a reveal party here. And so behold, I found myself being drafted on last year's championship team, the Indy Drivers. Yeah, so the Indy Drivers won the championships last year, and I thought I had no idea I was going to become an Indy driver, because you have a winning team of last year, so why would you give up players? So they give up players to get me. I was like, wow, that's strange, because I thought all the guys, pretty good guys on the team, So why are they not on the team still, So they made a change, and they pick up some better players and stuff. So one that's so they pick me up and stuff. I was supposed to go to the Houston Hammers. They were trying to draft me, but then they told me they couldn't draft me because I went so high in the draft. So before they could get me, some team picked me up already real early, which indie drivers. So how we do that is the tournament is every once a month, or whole weekend, once a month. I usually go there on Wednesday to get situated. We have an informal practice with the current players on Thursday, and on Friday we have a formal practice, maybe like 2 3 hours, where you practice with different partners and you play. And then Saturday and Sunday is where it begins. You usually play 4 different matches against I got 3 different teams. Um, so you'll play a morning session from 7:30 to 12, and then next session from 1 to 7. So it's a whole day pickleball, and you do that. You have two sessions on Saturday, 2 sessions on Sunday, and it's like a whole day of event. And honestly, Jeff, like you, I don't know if you guys can. I think you guys might have a good chance of trying out, and I think I've seen you guys game, and I think you guys have enough potential to try for that, because I think I've seen players out there that's not as good as you guys and made it. But again, it's all because of they stress to us that it's not just your talent, but they want you to have the personality. They want to see you enjoying the game. They want to see you want to be part of a team. And so they're good players that get left out, maybe because of the attitude. You gotta show that you're enjoying the game. You gotta show, because people don't want to be around people that too uptight and stay. That's why I always love coming to Pelican Park, because you guys always a big fun event, down there. So yeah, but that's how it is. And then in the end of the day, they have a winner for the thing. But then in October, they can have the championship, and I think the team's gonna compete for $100,000 in the championship. So that's how it is. But it's about 6 weeks of 6 months of playing once a month, and then end up to the championships.
Oh, are they sweet? And how many teams do they actually take for the championship? Do you know?
I mean, I think all teams. You got to play all teams.
All teams. Okay.
The good thing is they want to make sure to get everybody chance. But again, I think you seeded. You got to be very careful, because if you are the number 12 seed, you might play the number 1 seed. So you see, so it's gotta be, you get all team going. So you play through seeding all through the season, and in the end all teams goes to the finals, and then we shoot it out for some money.
What is the format for a match, Bernard?
Yeah, the format is you play best out of three games. Is like you play one in the morning time. You play one doubles. Like in my case, I'll play one doubles in the morning, and one mix in the morning session. And in the afternoon session, it's always going to be a one doubles and one mix games. It's best two out of three. So it's a long day. I mean, it keeps going though, but it's entertaining. So you get to chance. And there's the 3 different parts. There's part 1 is like for the guys, the higher dupers, and then you have part 2, and then you have part 3 was the lower duper guys. So mostly because there are 2 guys on the team that they are really good. I mean, they're pretty good. And they play together all the time. So they usually play part 1, and I usually play in part 2. So my goal is to always win in part 2, because I'm assuming that part 1 is so tough, then we might lose one of the matches in part 1. So we can make up matches in part 2. Then we could bounce it off, and then let the part 3 guys, the lower level guys, and battle out to see who can win out. What is the part 2 is where everything is,
So Bernard, how many actual players are on each team?
I think it's 12 players. 40. Well, they have 14. They have reserves, but they have 12 people on a team on the roster all times. But we have 14 people on the team. That's just reserved in case somebody can make it. They have other guys in there, but it's 12 people on the team.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
how it goes is
women and
you
8
play.
men. You
How
can
it goes?
draft up to 8 men and 8 women. So.
Yeah. So how it goes is that you cannot play. You play your games. So you play 12 games. 12. So If you tie 6-6, you go to a tiebreaker. So the first game to 7 wins. So you gotta keep winning, and you count. You win, loss, win, loss. You win the first game. You might lose, so there's 1-1. So so you keep going until the third person wins 12 first. And then if you have tie 6-6, then you go and you go to what we call a dream breaker. But it's not MLP style. It's more like you pick a team and you play 4 points each, the doubles.
Right.
Doubles or mixed doubles. It doesn't matter. It could be a mix of doubles against you, but you might find 2 men playing against a guy and a girl in mix. However they stack your team.
So Bernard, on your particular team, what is the highest duper and what is the lowest duper on your team? Roughly.
I think there's one guy, Rick. I think he probably has the no. Actually, no. But I don't talk about duper too much because duper is so misleading nowadays. Guys go on, you see guys with five duper and they really can play. So
Right.
but let me say the best player I think on the team probably would be Rick Rainston, because he's been playing that for a long time, and then you have another guy, Chris Mills, and maybe that's where I jump in after them. But it's duper. I really they say duper, yes, but I think they go more on repetition. How good you are. Something like that.
So Bernard,
Yes.
so this is not based on duper at all. They just draft you based on what they've seen from you and if they think you're, one of the better players.
Oh,
So
no.
duper has nothing
I
to
don't
do
think,
with this.
yeah. I don't think duper has anything to do with it, honestly. When you go there, they look at your how you play. Everybody that was selected there actually played well during the combine. Everybody I saw and in the drafted right now are the ones that actually did play well in the combine. So even if you're the best player and you didn't impress the owners, I mean, if they know you, they might say, okay, well, I know him, he's a good player. But if they don't know you, like me, if I didn't go, if no one knew about me, no one knew me. I went there. I was the only person that no one knew. So I had to impress them. You see, so if I just go there and just do a average performance, I probably would not be speaking to you guys on here about MLP. I had to go up there and actually show myself that I could play and be positive on the court all through the weekend. If not, I probably would not have joined. Honestly, no matter how good you think I am, I probably would not be if I didn't show myself as actually can play. Yeah.
It's great. So tell us too what your preparations are like. I know you play once a month, but you've been so kind to even come and help us out in our drill group. And I'm drill.
Yeah.
How many days? I mean, do you play every day of the week, and do you drill more than you play
Okay.
games?
Yeah. I try because you hardly find people that really want to drill. So what I do, honestly, for practice, I go to open play a lot, and I would play against the worst players, so I can practice my shots.
Shots.
Yeah, so that's what I do. And then right, like I say, on the week before I go, I will then go ahead and play against the better players just to see if the shots I was working on, if I should add it to my arsenal or not. But yeah, I mostly play. I would mostly play against the maybe 3-5 or 3-5 players. Yeah, I would go to open play and play against the 3-5 players most time, because that's the only way I get a chance to practice my shots. To hone in my shots and hit the ball high, especially to defend. So you would see me play. Sometimes you see me play a whole game, and I would hit my touch job with the shoulder height every time. Just to be able to defend, to learn defense, because I want to be defensive all the time. If I play 3-5s, I want to stay in defense. I never go on offense, almost never. So that's how I practice. I practice on just defend. I know I have offensive already. I don't need it. I don't need to practice that. Offense, I'm not going to attack unless I see the ball up here anyway. So why am I practicing offense? So I go practice defense. defense. So when I play, it's all about defense for me.
Okay.
And I'll probably do that like 3-4 times a week. Yeah.
And that's for a lot of players. That's for a lot of players out there. They know what to do when the ball's up and how to put it away. It's transitioning to get to that point consistently. Yeah, that's
But a good drill I use too. A good drill I use too is when I play against I'll play against one of my friends, and so I'll play 2v1 against them and see if I can, if I myself do. So that mean I gotta hit shots from both sides of the court. So I love playing 2v1. I would play, they get more probably the better level, the better 3-5 players, and try to play 3-5 or even 4-0 players and try to play 2v1 against them. So and I say you can play the whole court. You play the whole court. I want to be able to hit shots from everywhere. So that's how I really practice, because no one wants to drill that much, I have my ball machine, so ball machine is not really something I like that much, even if I have one, because no one stands up. Ball machines give you the same ball all the time, and you're the same place. So if you want to just work on something, for maybe a week, yes, but I got the ball machine every day. Good example is like one day, like last week, I was at the I went to Parlor and play. I saw this guy on the ball machine. I mean, this guy hit he hit 20 drops, perfect drops. I was like, God, this guy's good. I said, but he was hitting the ball real good, but I could tell his footwork was really bad. But he hit everything really good. You know why? Because all the ball came straight to him. So I say, hey, let me see how good you are. You're pretty good. I know I was. So I said, I started hitting him shots. I said, let me feed you some balls. I hit him one long, one shot, move like one step ahead, and he didn't make one. He made up a 2 out of 20. Why? Because he had to move one step. So his footwork was so bad. So when you play, always look at people's footwork, and then you can know how good they are. Don't look at how well they hit the ball. Look at their footwork, and that's the key. If you want to beat people, look at the footwork.
And that's always your theory, isn't it? One step, make them take a step.
Make them take a step. Make them take a step. You got to take a step.
Yeah, if you're the one moving the other person around, then you have the advantage.
You have the advantage. Yeah. But one thing I will give you all one thing, a trick I think that works pretty well if you want to play even good players. Don't try to hit through them. What you want to do is this: no matter where you are on the court, no matter how good the player is, when you hit the ball, figure out how hard you have to hit the ball so that the ball will land in front of your opponent. If the ball lands in front of the opponent, they have to hit upon it. So no matter how good I am, no matter how good figure out how hard you got to hit the ball. If you can hit the ball just hard enough, where they can hit the ball anywhere below the knees, you have the advantage. So think of that. Yeah, that's the best advice I'll give anybody. Hit the ball just hard enough where the ball lands in front of them or anywhere below the knees. Because below the knees is below the net, right? So they have to hit up. They can attack. Yeah.
Jeff, that's always your big advice.
Bounce in front of them.
But yes,
if at all possible. But I mean, you're taking it to a next step, and it can be a volley, but it's got to be knee height or lower.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And one more thing, I'm telling you, and again, if you want to play the game too, is we miss a lot of dinks because we try to hit the ball in the kitchen. I'm telling you, man, the more you try to hit the ball in the kitchen, it's more likely you're going to miss. Just aim for anything below the knees. Even if they volley it, they still can attack you. They attack you, it's going to come up. Wait for it. So reason why you try to hit so soft and so low, so you drop in the kitchen. And I think if you look at the pros, you very seldom hit the ball in the kitchen, unless you hit a cross court. All balls are in the air below the knees where they can most likely the volley dink. Because they don't want you to be, they don't want to miss balls. They hate missing. So I rather you hit a volley dink than to hit it, try to hit in the kitchen and hit in the net. So there's a lot of good strategy you can use to help you hit your games and stuff. It's just practicing it up. Yeah.
So what is next for Bernard LeBlanc? Where does he go from here?
Actually, well, apart from thing, I still do compete on the PPA and on the pro tour. So I think I'm looking at a couple of other tournaments to go play in. But then my next thing for me is I just got selected to play on the Jola has an event in Orlando. It's a big event, yearly event, and I'm not sure if you all look at YouTube, and it's a channel called the Kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah, they actually selected me to play on their team in an MLP style event in the Jola tournament. So
It's
I'm gonna go
great.
to Orlando to play
That's
in that.
great.
Yeah.
And when is that?
I think it starts on the August 30th to the 1st.
That's coming up. Pretty
Yes,
quick.
coming up. Yeah.
Are
So
you
That's
playing this weekend?
no, I'm not going to weekend. Yeah, yes. I actually I'm gonna come to I, I skipped we my team playing in Kansas City this weekend, but I'll be in New Orleans playing this weekend.
You're playing the Drew Brees?
Yeah, just doubles, open. Yeah.
That was a great interview. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I know we did, and everyone got a little bit out of it. What did you think, guys?
I thought it was packed full of information. Several things that he talked about. I've already started using some of it on the court. A lot of the things that he said just makes, kind of stimulates thoughts on different things. He just kind of gave me a new way to look at a few different things. I thought it was a good interview. Really
Yeah, I did too. I like some of the points he made. I'm looking at kind of my notes here. One of the biggest things I took away from it was playing defense. And really, you play defense until you've got a really good offensive shot. And I've never really looked at it like that.
Yeah, I really like the fact that he talked a lot about in rec play, and I know we've actually talked about this a little bit too in one of our previous podcasts, but he doesn't focus on winning. It's not about winning, but that you go out with rec play with a shot in mind, something maybe you need to work on in mind, and that's what you do. No matter how everybody else is playing, you go focused on your own game and have intention with what you're doing.
That's a good point. But one of the things I was really surprised to hear, Vicki, was that he doesn't drill a lot.
I
That
know.
he relies more on rec play. And like you said, that honing a specific skill as how he improves his game. Personally, I like drilling, and I think that's helped me more than anything. And I
Mm-hmm.
do try to use, work on specific shots when I play rec play, but I don't think I do it quite as good as and quite as focused as he does.
Yeah. I mean, I know that if all you're doing is drilling, or that's a majority of what you're doing, a lot of times people struggle with translating what you're doing into a match. And so with what he's doing is sort of the same thing. It's like he's drilling, but he's translating it into a match. So I think it's really good advice.
well. The first thing you said, Bud, about playing defense, it which we've all kind of known this. Bernard just put it a different way that makes it even more important. When we're serving and the ball comes to us, we're kind of too offensive minded, and you should be thinking more defense minded to complete getting yourself to the net. And that's what he says that he does. I mean, I've said it to people before. Hey, keep using the little guns until you can get the big gun out.
Yeah.
But the way he described it, and I think as he was saying that, I'd said it in the show. A lot of times, people are working their way to the net, and they just need one or two more shots to complete getting up there, and it's got to be defensive or neutral, and they fire away, and they don't get to the net. You've got to get to that net. That's where everything levels out, where you have the best chance to win the point. And I know people out there are going to say, well, I hit a seventh shot and I put that ball away. Okay, I'm not talking about that. We're talking in the big picture of things, like we always do with the big percentages. And Bernard playing at the level that he's playing at, which we have to do it against the people we're doing too, if you have that mindset, you're going to have better opportunities to put a ball away once you work you and your partner all the way up to the net. And if you make that your mindset of trying to do that all the time, you're really working your way to playing higher level pickleball.
Yeah, if you watch the pros, I mean, they defense. They just keep the ball going,
Yeah.
and sooner or later somebody elevates it just enough that they can start smacking it around.
Yeah, but what he said, rang true as far as they stay defensive through the transition area as they're working up to that no volley zone. You've got to have a defensive mindset as you're working your way up. And look, if you're stuck there for 2, 3, 4 shots, just stay there until the right ball barely makes it over the net into their no volley zone, and then you get that free pass up to that no volley zone, and now you're playing 50-50, and now you're waiting for the high ball to put it away.
Well, and it transfers into another thing that he said, Ken, that you just said, and I started doing it at rec play. Instead of trying to get that perfect drop shot that's about 6 to 8 inches above the net, I just started getting that drop shot high. Okay, kind of putting it up in their chest toward their, maybe a little bit above their waist. And for me, it made me more consistent. The only problem that I ran into is, depending on who's playing with you at rec play, if you do that and they don't read that ball like they should and stay back with you, they go running in, you've kind of put it up high. Well, then the point's fixing to end at their feet. So, but for me, again, you can't help what's going on at rec play. I would just put it up there and stay back. Put it up there and stay back, and then finally I would get that right one where I could finish getting into. And I'd never looked at it like that. I'd always said, man, don't miss your, to myself, I'm saying, don't miss your drops. But I never thought of it like he said. Well, it gives him that defensive mindset. And if he's got a really good player playing next to him that'll read that, then you'll work your way in together. Because that's the end of a point a lot of times. High drop shot, and then the partner kind of looks at you like, man, that was a high drop shot. I wish you'd have hit a better one. But they ran into the transition zone and got it crushed at their feet. So that puts a lot of pressure on you to try to hit a really good drop shot if they're just going to take off every time.
Told that we needed to watch where a partner's shot went, but at some point in time you forget that and you start moving on and make that destination of the no volley line everything. And this is just a good reminder to make sure you're watching your partner shots before you go running in.
Well, we could do an entire show on that, Vicki. Both of you are at the baseline or behind the baseline. If I'm not hitting the drop shot, unless I'm going shake and bake. If I'm going shake and bake on a drive or a drop, I'm just taking off. You're just going kind of like a kamikaze. But most of the time, the read should be step into the court, maybe one step off the baseline, and I'm looking at my partner's shot to see what's going on there. If I read it high off their paddle, then I just step back behind the baseline and I'm in good position. If I read it really good, or they're like, yeah, let's go, then we can take off and go. If they're not sure, we can stay right there. But a lot of times what people are doing is, as soon as it comes off the paddle, they're stepping into that transition zone, and it's not a good drop shot. And then the point ends there.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Jeff. You got to pay attention, to where your partner's hitting the ball.
Yep.
Before you react.
Yeah, and
That's a good point.
You're seeing a lot of people starting to teach that. What is the off person doing? The off person's job is just as important as the person that's hitting the shot to decide where they're going to go.
Another good point that he made was, really use rec play to work on some of the shots, work on your particular shot you may be working on. And a lot of times when you're playing against, maybe some people that might be, junior to you as far as experience, you may have some, or people that you haven't played with recently, you're not sure where that ball's coming off or how they're going to be hitting the ball. So it's going to give you some experience with seeing some shots that you may not have seen. But use rec play to kind of work on your shots and not worry so much about the W's and L's.
Yeah, I wish more of us would do that.
Yeah. I liked one of the points he made at the very beginning, and I hope anybody listening who's a beginner took this to heart. He talked about when he first took up the game, how he was a banger and he hit the ball hard. And he finally learned that if you're going to be a good pickleball player, you have to learn the soft game. And I think that's where a lot of rec players who are in the 2.5, 3.0, even maybe up to 3.5 are making a big mistake. They're leaning too much on the hard game and they're not playing the soft game.
Well, the problem is, Bud, the players that they're playing against, they're able to beat them like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm, not putting down on any particular rec play spot, but if it's a lot of 3-5 players, then they say they're banging the ball. The strongest banger there is going to win a lot of games.
Yeah.
So until you get outside of that pool, Bernard was in that same deal because Bernard went and sought out the highest level play he could find. And when he got there, he was getting his tail beat. And he had to start figuring out what they were doing. And it was that dinking and dunking, soft shots here, resets there until he could get in position. And now when you watch Bernard play, that is the pattern that he uses at every level. I mean, you can watch him play against weaker players or watch him play against stronger players. That's what he's trying to do most of the time. Does he hit a wrong shot every now and then? Of course, we all do. But there's a lot of us out there that are hitting the wrong shots a lot more of the time. And it could really help their game to really try to gather in what he was saying to us.
I mean, that's the tough part when you're teaching people how to play and you want to teach them the proper way to play. And they come back and say, wait a minute, you just taught us all up at the net and everything else, but we got out there to go play and nobody does that. It's true. And everybody finds that there's that state, and that's what I tell them, just hang in there. You're going to get to the point where people will be doing that. And you have to learn this. This is the best way for you to learn to play. And
but more often than not, Vicki, they get caught up in that's the way that those people at that particular place are playing, because it's frustrating. It's frustrating when you're the only one on the court and the other three people are banging the ball.
Yeah.
Because you're the only one trying to reset it or slow it down. And I've been in that position, used to be in it a whole lot more. As my skill set got better and better, I can better control a game with three people like that on the court, but still sometimes it's tough. There's no flow to it. You don't know what shot is fixing to be hit because every shot is going to be hard somewhere. And I mean, it's like running a motorcycle at full speed until one of the pistons goes through the side of the motor in a fast-paced rally like that. But it just does not happen at higher levels. At higher levels, it's those soft shots, up and over the net until it's time, and then all of a sudden fireworks will break out. So it's just something for people to, try to get a hold on. I encourage people out there, if you've got a group that you're playing with and you're trying to get there, try to tell them just, hey, be patient. Be patient. Stay off of that first ball that's up in the air. You're trying to crack on it. Stay off of that. Stay in the point. And as you start seeing the points go longer and more shots, now you're moving towards a little bit higher level pickleball, which is what a lot of us are after. Those of you that are having fun banging the ball, look, mute this, turn this program off right now. This is not for you. But those that are trying are aspiring to improve their game, which is a lot of people out there that we know. Figure this out. The sooner you figure it out, the quicker you'll be on the path to becoming a better pickleball player.
Yeah.
You know, and having more of a defensive-minded approach, you're going to cut way down on those unforced errors. An offensive-minded approach, that's where you're going to experience a lot more unforced errors.
Yeah.
And that's really the biggest difference. A defensive-minded approach, you're going to allow your opponent to make those unforced errors by you're keeping the ball in play, waiting for the right shot to take advantage of.
All right, crew, that was a great discussion, a good review of Bernard's interview. He did a great job, and we'll have him back. That's for sure. And now, as always, it's time for Jeff and his Burr Under My Saddle.
You're Burr under my saddle. You're a thorn sticking in my side.
All right, thanks, Bud. This week, it's not really a burr under my saddle. It was just something odd that happened to me on the court. So I guess we'll call this the burr from the wacky, wonderful world of pickleball. So I'm at Stacks the other night, and we're in the middle of playing points, and I kind of look over, and this guy has a cell phone, and he has the cell phone to his ear, and he's talking while we're playing the point. And I'm thinking to myself, you're not supposed to be doing that. And then I got to thinking, and it's like, all right, if I win this point, I should have won the point. Okay, we should have won the point. Guy's over there on his cell phone. But then I'm thinking, if we don't win the point, what kind of idiots are we over here? We can't beat a guy. He's over there talking on the phone. So I don't know if many of you out there would do this. I would hope you wouldn't. But people, don't get on your cell phone on the court. If you need to take a call, get off the court. Get us another player out there. There's always tons of people ready to play. I just thought that was weird, and I don't know. It was like I was in the Twilight Zone. I'm like, is this really happening? But guess what, Bud?
Surprise me, Jeff.
Guess what, though, Bud? You know what I always say. If you want to make a phone call while I'm out on the court with you and play some pickleball while you're taking care of some business, I'm going to still play with you. But anyway, that's this week's Burr Under My Saddle.
All right, Jeff. As always, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That really happened.
Yeah, I can believe it. I was just going to say it. I'm not surprised.
Hey, Bud, I've got a shout out. All righty. So we just had the Drew Brees Pickle Fest tournament here in New Orleans this past weekend. And I just wanted to give a shout out to all those who helped plan the tournament. And then, of course, everybody that played in there. Big shout out to our local players. We really were well represented down there, and we had a good number of medal winners. And so I just wanted to say thanks for doing it and congrats, and we're very proud of you.
Vicki, thanks for those shout outs. Hot off the press, it's time for Ken's tournament previews.
All right, thanks, Bud. Here we go. September 14th, 15th, 2024. It's the New Orleans Paddle Battle. This is at the New Orleans Riverside Hilton. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. It's $60 per person, and registration closes September 13th. Also, September 13th through 15th, it's the For the Love of the Y at the YMCA at the Lamar Tennis Center in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. Look, this is a fundraiser tournament with the proceeds going to help expand the Y's outreach programs. So, if you're not doing anything this weekend, there's two good tournaments right there. One at the Hilton, one in Baton Rouge at the Lamar Tennis Center. So September 20th through 21st is the Laurel MLP at Daphne Park, Laurel, Mississippi. We're going to put a flyer up, scan the QR code to register. September 21st, 22nd, this is the Pelican Park Fall Classic, Mandeville, Louisiana. We'll put the URL at the bottom of the screen along with the flyer. It's always a fun time. It's 8 outdoor courts. It's always a good time at Pelican Park. September 27th through 29th. This is the 3rd annual Bubba Hart Memorial at the Graywood Golf and Racquet Club in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. Registration closes September 20th. September 27th through 29th also is the Canebrake Kitchen Classic. This will be in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register for that. This is a beautiful facility with permanent outdoor courts. I highly recommend, if you haven't been, go check it out in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Also, September 27th through 29th is the National Pickleball Daphne Classic at W.O. Lott Park. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. Registration closes September 23rd. October 4th through 6th is the West Feliciana Pickleball Classic Fall Fling at the West Feliciana Sportsplex, St. Francisville, Louisiana. It's a flyer. We'll put the flyer on the screen. Check the local Baton Rouge Facebook sites, because you have to print out the flyer, mail it in. The flyer has the address. We'll also put David Parker II's phone number on the screen. If you have any questions, give him a call. Also, October 4th through 6th, this is the Louisiana Senior Games. This year it's going to be held at Stacks Pickleball in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We'll put the URL at the bottom of the screen. This is a qualifying year for nationals, which will be held in the summer of 2025 in Des Moines, Iowa. October 19th, 20th is the Mississippi State Championship at Pops Ferry Park, Biloxi, Mississippi. Go to pickleballbrackets.com. Registration closes October 13th. October 25th, 27th, Halloween Tournament in Baton Rouge. It is full. We'll put the URL at the bottom of the screen if you want to get on the wait list, because as people drop off, they're only pulling from the wait list. So that's why, if you really want to get in, get on the wait list. November 2nd is the Jones Pickleball Classic at the Jones Tennis Courts in Ellsville, Mississippi. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. Registration closes October 27th. It's $50 per person. November 2nd is the Patriot Pickleball Tournament at Coquille Rec Park in Covington, Louisiana. This is for just 3-0 and 3-5 level gender doubles and mixed doubles. November 15th through 17th is the World Pickleball Tour at Breck, Greenwood, Baker, Louisiana. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. Registration closes November 10th. And finally, we have a new one. It's November 16th, 17th, Swinging for the Stars. This will be at Pops Ferry Park, Biloxi, Mississippi. Go to pickleballbrackets.com to register. Magnolia Classic will be running that tournament. And that's it for a pickleball tournament preview. Back to you, bud.
Hey, Ken, thanks for those tournament previews. Everybody, get in one or two of those tournaments and have a lot of fun. They really are. And now, if nobody has anything else, I think it's time to say goodnight. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, from the Pickleball crew, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next week. Well, that's it for this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave any comments, and please like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks again, and see you next week.